You and Jane Lynch both play strong, self-assured women on Glee. How would you describe the differences between the two characters?
Age. No, not really. I think that my character, Beast, has a lot of complexity that isn't brought to the surface, where I feel like Jane's has been brought to the surface by her being so frustrated and outward frustrated towards everybody, and it's because of her inner pain and the stuff that she's gone through with her own very own sister. Whereas mine has been with myself, and just going through life as this big woman and everybody questioning me and looking at me and like I'm a freak. Mine is personal, where hers is also personal, but it's the connection with her sister.
And Iqbal, your character, Principal Figgins, has the unenviable task of acting as the arbiter for the many power struggles that take place at McKinley High. How do you think he does?
With an inordinate amount of patience and wisdom, you know. Also, I think he cares a lot. He genuinely cares, you know, about the kids and the school, and I think that's what, you know, it drives him. Every now and then he can be morally ambiguous, you know, like most CEOs and people who run businesses and corporations and schools. So he has to walk a fine line, and every now and then he might make a decision that you may not agree with and question his, you know, his ethics. But overall, I think he's a good guy, and that decency, I think, drives him forward. And that's how, at least, I play him. That he's a good person and he wants to actually help.
Is there a bit of you in Principal Figgins?
I used to actually deny, but now I think I'm beginning to realize that, you know, I have more in common with the guy than I care to admit. He's kind of a bit weird, you know, and I think I can be weird at times. There's a certain amount of, you know, insecurity, you know, within him that I have discovered within myself. And also, you know, he's also the guy who's trying to fit in this, you know, foreign land. He's, you know, so it's kind of, you know, my story, you know, my struggles. So I can definitely, you know, associate, you know, with that, with his struggles.
A question right there?
Hi, it's Ryan Porter for Flair. Do you think we should expect the cast to graduate and move on, or should we not get too attached to some of these characters?
Well, I think people are attached, whether you like it or not. I mean, I have no idea if they're going to graduate anytime soon. They should. But I mean, there's also a question of, you know, the way they look. You know, as time, you know, goes by, they will start, you know, looking older. I mean, the actors. Some of them are, you know, in their 20s, and by the time they reach 30s, you know, I'm sure they will have to think of something. But just because they graduate, I don't think that means that they will leave the show. You know, Corey Monteith can become a coach or a teacher, you know, and Rachel can be a music teacher or something. So they can be still written into, you know, into the script, even though they have graduated.
Anything else?
Dot, can you talk a bit about what it's like to come into an established ensemble like that and then sort of feel your way around and have your character feel her way around the dynamic?
Wow. The kids and even the adults, or semi-adults, were so wonderful and there. And Ryan had talked to the kids about me before, because I'd actually worked with Ryan on Nip Tuck and also a pilot he had done prior to Glee, which was called Pretty Handsome. And so basically this Coach Beast was written for me. And so he had told the kids about me and stuff. So when I showed up the first day, the kids knew like all these things about me, and it was like going to where I was already familiar because I'd seen previous shows from the first season. So it was actually getting to meet them, but it was so easy and comfortable. It was a very easy transition for me. One of the easiest, because you know, sometimes you go on a show and it's a one-time deal and you're like the guest star and you show up and you work 4 days with these people you've never worked with before. It was an instant feeling like I'd already been there.
Because also, you know, she's such a wonderful, you know, person. She's a wonderful actor, but also, you know, wonderful human being. And instantly, I think everyone who met her when she arrived, we all fell in love with her. So great to have her on the show.
Dot, I'm just wondering if you could elaborate on your relationship with Brian Murphy. You guys worked together, as you mentioned, on 3 projects.
Yeah.
Have you known him for years? How did that relationship start?
I had worked with him, I did 3 episodes of Nip Tuck. And it was funny because like the first episode of Nip Tuck I did, it was one with Rosie O'Donnell, and the 3 of us were sitting there on the side of the stage just talking. And to be honest, Ryan's so young that I thought he was part of the crew. I mean, he's young. And I was like, oh, what's your name? And he's like, Ryan. And I said, oh, okay. And then I realized, I heard later, he's like, he's the creator. I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot. And so then, but I think he liked that. And then I went in and auditioned for Pretty Handsome, which was the pilot preceding, like I said, preceding Glee. And it was such an emotional character. I played opposite Joseph Fiennes, and it was playing a trans female to male character. And it was the most emotional thing I've ever done in my life, that I couldn't even read the sides without crying. So when I went in and read this part while I'm terminally ill, I was bawling my eyes out. So it was real, because I think all of us have known somebody who's had cancer or either passed from cancer. So it was like, and to me, to date, it's still the best work I've ever done, was in that pilot. And so that's how this came to be. Yes, sir.
Just to follow on that, could you talk about, the show has such range, there's some outrageous comedy and also some very tender drama. What's that like to walk that tightrope for both of you?
I think for me personally, I've been in the business 19 years, and for me, this is like the first character where I've not been the tough biker chick, prisoner, prison guard, the wrestler, the cop, Iqbal's girlfriend, it's
Happens all the time.
I know, it's confusing. And it was the first character for me that not only was tough, but then had this vulnerable side to where, like, I know in the first episode, so many people told me that, my God, I thought we were going to hate you. Because I went toe-to-toe with Sue. In my very first scene, I'm toe-to-toe with Sue and we're fighting. And then by the end of that one episode, I'm bawling my eyes out in the locker room.
Also, I think as an actor, I don't think we approach it as comedy. I don't think we try to be funny or sad. We just play the scene, and it's so well written. I don't have to worry about it being funny or not. I just go and play the reality of the scene, and that's it. So if it comes out funny, that's fine. My intention is never to be funny or to be sad, but that's how it's written, and that's how it's viewed, and that's how it comes out.
That's like, and it's like when I get like those silly lines, I know some of your stuff is hilarious,
Yeah.
but whether it's supposed to be or not, it's funny. And like for me, I'm like, you're all coffee and no omelet. And it's like, I felt like the more serious I played that, the funnier it was, because it didn't make any sense at all. And so it's like Iqbal said, it's in the writing.
Hi, can I just ask, this is for Dot, what can we expect from your character in the next season? Are we going to see more of you?
God, I pray to God that somebody heard that. I honestly, because I'm considered a reoccurring guest star, I'm not a regular on the show. I don't know, because Ryan and them are so busy. The show's done with 3 writers. And so they're writing as we go. They're working their butts off. And it's like Iqbal and I were talking about earlier. It's like some days we'd get a script 2 days before we'd start working, and you weren't anywhere in there, but you knew you were going to be in the episode, but they'd only finished 3 of the 6 acts. So you'd get within those 8 days that we shoot a show, you'd get your script sometimes in there. So as far as next season, I honestly don't know. I wish I could say, but I honestly don't know what's up for me. I hope a lot.
Me too. Thank
you.
I'm not even sure if some of the producers actually know. I mean, they have an idea of the general direction of where the show is going, but what's going to happen to each character, I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Where would you like your characters to go and fit for his character? I don't know. He's had
Well,
a decent progress.
I think hopefully maybe we'll find out, what his first name is. Well, that we know his first name is Principal. and then, you know, if he has a wife or kids, something other than just, you know, managing the school. Maybe a Bollywood number. I mean, who knows? You know, it's like, you know, there's a whole universe out there, you know, and anything is possible.
Can you sing?
I think so, but I don't know. I mean, I sing on the set all the time.
But nobody said anything.
So I take it that I'm kind of proud of the fact that I'm the only one who doesn't sing on the show, and now I go, let them sing. I'll just, you know, do my lines.
As far as my character, I'd love to do more numbers. I got to do that one number with Matt this season, which was so much fun. I've never sang before on anything. And so to get to go to a studio and record it and do everything like we did was a blast. So I'd like to get to sing more. And maybe a love interest and maybe other sports. Do you know what I mean? Like once football season's over, I could always coach basketball or track or baseball. So.
Iqbal, are you going to be on Community again?
You know, I don't know. I would love to, you know, go back and do the show because I think it's a great show. It's a fun, and it shoots on the same lot, Paramount. You know, so and there was like 1 week when I was doing both. You know, I was doing Glee, and then I would run to the stage, sound stage, and do Community. So I hope they bring me back. I would love to. Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for coming today.
Thank you
Thank you,
very much.
everyone.
Thank you.